Welcome to the most tilting match ever for Hottest Man. the most tilted match. I don't know. I'm trying to. He has ever in his name. I'm trying to make some kind of joke with it. Didn't work. Point is, welcome back to Kharak Cup number 10. This is in the semifinals between Hottest Man and myself, and he chose random, so I had to do it. I just had to. I'm gonna pick Conef over here. I'm gonna roll Conef. It's random. And Hottest Man ever gonna be Soban. So that's pretty cool, but unfortunately for him, I know. Okay, look, you're gonna think this is rude, but he's the one who came up with this build in the first place. So I feel like he earned it. But yeah, he discovered like the most broken blast drone build in the world, and I'm gonna use that against him now. Basically, apparently it can be done even a little bit faster, but I generally like prioritize Sandscaper fabrication. But you get a blast drone and Sandscaper's out at just about the same time. You do a little quick drop there to get production on the first blast drone just a little bit faster. Move out with the base runner and the Sandscapers, and you should be able to bomb out the eco without too much difficulty. That's the basic idea here. Now Hottest Man is playing a Soban, so he's got some tools to deal with it. That being said, this is kind of like the worst map for this, especially. I mean, just Torian Crater in general, I can use smoke on the base runner, like, close this distance without too much difficulty, and I can deny mining still for a very long time. He definitely needs to power up the ALMs, though, once he figures out that this is coming. This still looks pretty normal for me, but now he sees the two blast runs, he should know exactly what's happening, so that ALM needs to get powered up, still not being done. Salvagers are splitting, as you can see, but that ALM is still not powered. That's going to be a big deal. I know I'm talking about that a lot, but that's what you gotta do in this scenario, you know? Yeah, and in fact, the carrier's weapon's being powered up right here. That's not really ideal. Looks like I can get 3 here, probably. Maybe just 2. Oh, just 1, in fact. Here comes the second, though. I should get all of these LAVs. Ooh. That's nasty. The other story, of course, is that mining time is being delayed right here. So if you look at the resources, he's just gonna fall behind just by virtue of the fact that he's not mining at the moment. There's nothing he can do about that. And the base runner has so much help that it's gonna take a long time to get rid of it. And it can just keep popping out these blast drones the whole time through. So definitely the ALM is the better choice here. We're just gonna hunt down this one salvager over here. Maybe. There we go. Buy a little bit more time with that base runner, but the damage has been done. I'm going to go into refinery mode now. And I should have a very good game from here. I think it kind of goes without saying. Actually, one thing that I can probably improve this strategy with a little bit is switching these guys onto RUs now. Because I'm going to need RUs pretty soon. Right now I'm just like remaking salvagers on the main over here, but that's obviously not really ideal, but it's kind of redonkulous. I didn't do it the best here, I don't think. But you can get the idea anyway. Hey, it's my first game of the day. You can get the idea. It's very hard to hold that. It hits like ridiculously early. If you go onto A-Game's stream, he's got a whole video of him trying to hold it off against Descara for like a long time. Because like when this was first told to me that this was some kind of broken build, I was like, that should be pretty easy to fight, right? You just spam a bunch of LAVs in the beginning. No, it's not easy. Kind of an issue. Not sure what we'll do about that. I mean, it can be addressed in patches and stuff, but of course the Kharak Cup doesn't run on them, so we'll have to see. Big thanks to Hottest Man for showing us that strategy and then having it used against him. Now this is actually pretty bad for me, though. I've been exceedingly greedy right here, as you can see. Haven't made a single military unit. So I'm starting to make some Sandscapers now, but I'm definitely a little bit vulnerable at the moment. Just making some Sandscapers off this production cruiser, hoping I can hold it off with that. And then, you know, like the carrier. And I should be able to. You can see already a salvager going down right there. Meanwhile, Hottest Man, he's got all 6 back on his main. He can start saturating second pretty soon. He's got the sport cruiser out. So, I mean, he's not actually that far behind here, all things considered. There's definitely a psychological aspect, but he's not that far behind. Having 2 production cruisers out here, though, outproducing these LAVs can be very easy, so I can get back to mining immediately. Carrier gonna make that last salvager, remake it anyway, and I'm good to go. Haven't picked a tech choice just yet, and Hottest Man gonna go for fighter and gunship, which is always pretty fun to see. Yeah, this fight here should go my way pretty easily just by production. And I also have armor 1, which he doesn't. Of course they are LEVs, so they're like surprisingly good, but you know, I should still win this fight pretty easily. What's the follow from him? Actually, he's made a second base runner, so he's going to go for double extraction now, which is pretty good. That's obviously not a bad move. Fighter and gunship finishing pretty soon here. I'm just going to try to get up onto a third base, but again, I still haven't picked a tech choice yet, which is pretty late for this. I think I'm just waiting for RUs though to go into railguns, probably. I'm going to make a base runner too. I want to get some artifacts as well. Unfortunately for me, they're all going to get snatched up here before I have time to do a thing. But, you know. I actually got Power Reserve 1 there. Not sure why I did that. Maybe because I wanted the cruise missile and the weapons, but probably didn't need that one. And Hottest Man, excuse me, can actually make a gunship here, which is pretty unique. Oh, I'm going Power Reserve 2. Oh, I'm gonna try to power rush him. That's a little rude. Actually, I'm kind of surprised that I'm going for this though, because I'm not that far ahead, all things considered. I mean, like I said, he's already on 2 bases himself. He's got fighter and gunship coming out, and then AAV. So he's actually perhaps not the most advisable thing in the world. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, in that case, I'm probably going to want to get a third production cruiser pretty soon. It's going to be a assault ship fabrication that I'm making here. That's pretty cool. Oh, and that could be really nice if he's got a gunship and I've got interceptors. Gunship is getting launched immediately, by the way, probably against these sandstorms, we'd have to assume. I guess it could be against the eco too. But, he's going to know, though. I've got no idea. He has air, so there's no anti-air to deal with here. This is a pretty immediate threat, so we'll probably just send the gunship out there and pwn them, as they say. Gunship, of course, always a little bit underwhelming, but it'll do the job. I like how he's trying to focus on the sandstorms that are together there, but I think that's going to give this guy time to heal. Maybe it's not the best move. I mean, as you can see, I've split these guys pretty well, so they're not going to take very much splash damage here. So yeah, other production cruisers out here. Seeing a gunship there, I'm immediately going to go for interceptor fabrication, you got to imagine. And obviously I saw it. I mean, I split these guys up legendarily, if you can say that. He's not going to be able to get this last extraction, then, it doesn't seem. Or at least not at the moment. I still have these sandstorms here getting field control, and they're getting kind of chewed on by this gunship here, but they can stay there for some time. If you just split them like this, it takes gunships a very long time to kill sandscares. This makes them pretty much incapable of fighting, mind you. So, I mean, the gunship is still a good counter to the sandscammers, but in fact, it's a great counter. But yeah, it has difficulty hitting them if they just split up like that. Generally, you're going to see players just go for the fighter, like the strike fighters anyway. They like them better, and I can see why. You know, it makes sense to me. I've gotten some kind of a message. I like how he keeps sending out probes, but I don't like how he keeps just sending them straight across the middle and then they die. I don't know. Well, interceptor fabrication is finished. I should be making those already. Not sure what I'm waiting for. There we go. I'm moving out this way with the carrier. I feel like moving that way is probably better, but I don't know. Well, Hottest Man is going to get very aggressive with his carrier as well. And that's a little odd because he's Soban. I mean, what do you expect it to do? I guess he's trying to stop the extraction with ALMs. That's a curious choice. That's a curious choice. But yeah, I mean, this is just dangerous. Like, if I had gone for railgun fabrication, which I'm getting now, because I see how he's here, right? That can be really deadly. I mean, you can lose a carrier pretty easily here, especially as Soban, right? Soban carrier is just like weak sauce. It is going to stop the extraction, which is nice for him. Somehow my interceptor missed and hit the ALM. I've never seen that one before. Oh, that is the luckiest gunship in the world. It manages to get out of there with just barely a sliver of health left. Assault cruiser fabrication coming out now for Hottest Man. He was getting BC, but now he's switching to that. And getting support cruiser anti-air. So I suppose this is a reaction to him knowing I've got air units here. Not sure if I'm going to stop this extraction or not. Doesn't look like it. So he's going to be at 2. But yeah, my whole idea here is just like, well, if I can get 5 power into these weapons, I'll kill him. That's like my entire idea. And like I said, this is a little silly the way that I'm doing this because really I was not as far ahead as I expected. So this is not exactly like, how do you say it? I'm not so far ahead that I shouldn't even be worrying about it, you know what I mean? So this is kind of a silly strategy to go for, but hey, if it works, it'll be funny, right? So now obviously I've neutralized the threat of the gunship using these interceptors here. I am going to discover the hard way the support cruiser anti-air is out. So 2 interceptors go down there. 3 actually, oh wow. That was effective. Maybe these guys are out there going to put down the hurt on the sand skimmers. You can see with 2 of them there, the damage that they can put out is pretty intense. But here are the interceptors ready to clean them up, so there goes 1 already. Although I'm going to lose an interceptor as well. But yeah, I think that's just kind of the problem with gunships is that they are very good units, but they need so long to like do what they do, you know what I mean? It's tricky. Hottest Man going to go for assault cruiser anti-air here, so definitely wants to be making those. He's not doing that to get artillery. And I guess it makes sense actually, if I'm going to be having, you know, so many sand skimmers out on the field. Okay, I thought the ALM was in the radius. That is really close. Wow. Most impressive. Most impressive. Well, here's my carrier, and this is honestly not very wise, but I did it. So. Yeah, just moving your carrier out alone like that is really not the best idea, but we'll see if it works for me. Yeah. Oh, that's what he was doing. That's actually really clever. So he popped down an ALM on the sand skimmers there, and then he fired the barrage from the assault cruiser, and he managed to kill like a bunch of them there. That's really cool. I like that. Anyhow, problem with assault cruisers in this case, I think, is that they can counter siege cruisers if the micro is really good, but certainly that on top of like the Conf carrier firing its missiles out, they're not going to do very well against it. So this could be difficult for him. Gunship is launched, and I gotta assume he's trying to bait me to fire at the interceptors, but his anti-air coverage, is it? Yeah, it's there, but it's pretty far away, right? It's also just not as effective as support cruiser anti-air, so I can hit and then dock. I'm only gonna lose 1, and I take out the gunship. That's a good trade, and I'm very happy with that one. Now I need to be careful. Assault cruisers can dish out tons of damage to carriers, like you would really be surprised, but as you can see, they can get a lot of damage dished out against them too. I mean, they're fast, but they're still cruisers. It's going to be pretty easy for me to hit it with this kind of carrier here. Is that going to kill it? Yeah, oh, wow, that's pretty close actually. He did a very good job trying to keep that alive, just not quite fast enough. I'm also going to barrage with the siege cruiser, of course. Power 3 coming out for Hottest Man ever. Honestly, it should all be in armor if he's going to push with the carrier like this. Because this is a situation where that Sovan carrier just cannot really do anything. Actually, an ALM getting set down here, and I gotta assume that's for the siege cruiser, but it's attacking the carrier. Yeah, there you go. So he's gonna basically disable that siege cruiser for a long time. That's pretty cool, and then the assault cruiser manages to take him out. Wow. I mean, he's making this look like pretty good, honestly. I still don't think it's like the most obvious choice for dealing with this kind of thing, but he's making it look really good. What I need to do is power up the weapons. Yeah, there you go. So they're on power 5 now, which means they recharge really fast and there's a lot of range on them. His carrier at about half health right there. I did lose the siege cruiser, so that definitely slows me down quite a bit. Got another one out here though, of course. 1 artifact being extracted, second one on the way. He's got an artifact in hand as well, and it's being guarded by an assault cruiser. He probably should be able to extract that one, I would think. Powers are 4 going to be coming out now for Hottest Man ever. That's when he gets to 5 armor, which is That's a lot of armor. And he's also going to get the microwave emitter once he researches that tech. And that can always be pretty stunning. Like ALMs, huh? But yeah, it can also be incredibly underwhelming. But still, you know, it's not as good as the cruise missile, I think we would all agree, but it can definitely do a lot of damage, so. So I'm just going to like spam missiles like this just because I might as well. I've got a lot of the things. So clearly it's effective to drop the ALM on top of the siege cruiser and then use the barrage from the assault cruisers. So I'm going to want to avoid that if possible. He's going to just drop the barrage from the assault cruiser though on this carrier to do as much damage as he can. And he's done quite a bit, to be fair. But both of the assault cruisers are going to go down here, and some of you sort of wonder what his damage output even is, right? Because he's Saban, right? His carrier doesn't really do anything. What killed that siege cruiser? Maybe it was actually the carrier. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm definitely routing him now, doing a lot of good damage right here. So he's probably double producing these assault cruisers right now. He was, yeah, I mean, he looked at battlecruiser fabrication. He had it on the way for a second there. Hey, mate, you gonna extract this one? Anyway, I think battlecruisers would have been better for him here. I think they would have. Yeah, he is going to extract that artifact, of course. Assault cruiser goes down here, you know, like they do. Railgun's obviously really effective counter against them. So the microwave emitter is on the way now. He's got an assault cruiser, no, 2, right? Yeah, he's got 2 assault cruisers with his carrier. And here he's going to try to lay down a pretty cool trap, and I actually really was a fan of his. So the microwave emitter gets launched right there. And my thought was, okay, well then I'll just, there's not really any damage output here to speak of, so I'll just kind of ignore it. I'll just walk past it. But there is indeed damage output. I mean, we know assault cruisers do quite a bit of damage and kind of carries like no armor at all, right? Also, these guys stayed in there for way too long, much longer than I was expecting them to because of those ALMs that are there. So they both get taken out, and suddenly my carrier is looking very alone here. I've taken out 1 assault cruiser, which is good for me. And the second one did not get far enough away, so he's probably going to go down too. But that's worrisome, to say the least, how low my carrier is here in enemy lines, and I can't use the cruise missiles because his carrier is right here. So yes. I decide I just need to heal up and get out of there. He could be making another unit any time now. It looks like he is. It's going to be a little later than I was expecting. That makes sense because he hasn't really got the resources for it, but you can see the power of a Soban carrier at full weapons, right? I mean, it's like getting out-healed by the, like, outdone by the healing system on this carrier, so that's pretty scary. Freaking Soban, man. They're so underwhelming. Anyway, he's had to power down the ALMs to do this. He actually could have power 1 in there, but that means the Sandscreamers can just kind of come in and do whatever they want. There are 2 assault... No, these are support cruisers. Ooh. Looks like both the assault cruisers went down earlier. I do remember that now, actually. So now I'm going to want to peel off, because obviously I'll be doing the same damage to myself as I am to him if I leave the siege cruiser next to his carrier. I've got a big wall of railguns here. The eco is completely wiped, so if I can just get my carrier to my railguns, I should be completely safe here. First AC is finished. I'll immediately use the missile barrage against the carrier, and that makes sense. I know about 40% health now as that carrier, but the railguns are pretty close now. Really, these ALMs should have been powered up, and they could have made a pretty big difference here. I'm actually going to dive these skimmers right into the support cruiser to take it out, because if the assault cruiser is attacking them instead of my carrier, I basically win anyway. So I'm not really worried about the fact that that's a potential counter right there. Railguns are in position now, and the game has ended. I'm not sure why. I'm going to assume he surrendered right here, but I don't know. He's not exploding. I feel a little robbed. But yeah, so that's going to be 1-0 to me. Let's go ahead and load the second replay in right here. I mean, it was kind of a strange strategy that I went for, like, to follow up off of this. It's obviously not ideal. I wouldn't really recommend it, but it worked. I think mostly I did that, though, because it's a really fun idea, and you don't get to do it very often. Oh, yeah, I think we're stuck. I think we're stuck. Wait, they've got a button to cycle through idle salvagers? I didn't even know that. Wow. That's so cool. Anyway, I'll figure this out and then I'll be back. Okay, we're back after some technical difficulties. So to review, game 1, Blast Drone Rush, very effective. Power Rush, not really, but it's pretty fun. And Hottest Man Ever was like, oh my gosh, I should never have shown that to A-Game. He definitely was regretting his decision now. We're both playing random though, so you never know what's going to happen this game, right? Could be anything. Oh wait. And what is he playing here, by the way? Coalition. So I must say, I'm not the biggest fan of his strategy of using his slip-on carrier as a weapon there. It's not really the most effective weapon, is it? Could have worked, perhaps. Could have, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like the best option to me. He's playing his Coalition now, though, which would do play a little bit better into his favor. But the map is the Boneyard, and this is one of the best maps for this Blast Drone Rush. Naturally, I have to do. I mean, I'm Conef. I just have to. It's not even really a choice anymore. This little twitchy boy over here. So Hottest Man gonna be moving out with his base runner right here. He's made 2 more salvagers on the CUs, only 1 on RUs so far, and he's making some LAVs. That's probably a good choice right here. Descara, when he was testing this with A-Game, found that really the only way to hold it off would be to make LAVs right from the get-go, and quite a lot of them too. Because obviously you need to be able to fight the blast drones themselves. If you can kill like maybe both of them, I think you would need, really. You can kind of hold it off, but easier said than done, right? LAV's going to come into a bit of a scuffle here with the sand skimmers. They see the 2 blast drones right there. Just briefly though. And Hottest Man decides that he doesn't even want to, so he just surrenders right there. And I wasn't really expecting this, but I can understand it. And it was at this moment when I started really feeling bad about this. I was like, this is not even really DOK anymore. So, you know, I must apologize to him, but hey, he's the one who figured this build out in the first place, so he kind of killed himself, I guess. I don't know. At any rate, I don't think I'll do this next tournament. It was pretty rude, but hopefully he didn't get too tilted. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time.